What is going on, Locks Mob, and welcome back to the Locks DFS NHL Breakdown. I'm your host, Narang, and I'll be breaking down this 6-game main slate that we have on tap for Monday, January 14th on DraftKings and Prize Picks. We're coming off a really big weekend. Hockey crushed all weekend. Sports bets did the same. We were up almost close to 8 units over the weekend, 5 units yesterday alone. We went 3-0 with the Blue Jackets and the Flames spreads both hitting, and then we had a 3-unit bet on the Patriots minus 3.5. That hit, and then our prize picks were money as well all weekend. We went 3-3 yesterday. Gaudreau over 3.5 points, Wheeler over 3.5 points, Panarin over 3 points. It's just been a ton of fun playing over there. It's just a really fun daily fantasy sports site. New. Not too many people are on it right now, so I really like it. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit more. As you guys know, we're sponsored by them. But regardless, I think I'll be playing over here. I mean, it's been tons of fun. And we got a bunch of props up for today as well. So as you guys know, if you deposit on Prize Picks, that was my phone. If you deposit on Prize Picks using our promo code LOCKS or the link that'll be the first link in the bio, you get a free 2-pick entry up to $50 as well as a 100% bonus match. Up to $1,000. And the cool thing about that bonus match is it's batched instantly. You don't have to get it dripped in or anything. Like, I know I used to play on some daily fantasy sports site a long time ago that offered drip-in bonuses, and I swear I'm still seeing those bonuses to this day. That's how long they take to come in. At least with this, you just got to roll it over once, and then your promo funds become real funds. So that's super cool. It's essentially free money. And if you do that, go ahead and DM the fact that you deposit using our promo code. DM proof for that to Locks DFS on Twitter, and we'll hook you up with our free picks. As always, I give away like 1 or 2 of them on this video. I think the ones I'm liking right now, I already see them. I'll get into them when I talk about the specific players, but I see a couple that I like right now. So let's get into it. Starting at center. The high price options obviously leading the way. We have Connor McDavid at home. You see the day-to-day sign by his name. Really, he just missed an Oilers only skills competition, which is so random to have. But he skipped that for like personal issues. I'm assuming it was just a maintenance day, so I'm assuming he'll be fine. He's got a classic matchup versus Jack Eichel here. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. I'm assuming he'll be a full go. And he's actually tied for my top option. I think I like him just as much as I like Austin Matthews here. I'm really high on this Toronto-Colorado game. I think it hits the over on 6.5. The thing with Toronto is we have 2 guys leading the way, Tavares and Austin Matthews, who both lead the way with the iCourtsy 4/60 over 16. And it's followed by the value center, I actually like Nazem Kadri. As you see here, Nazem Kadri has an iCourtsy 4/60 of 16.66. So he's right up there firing the puck with these big guys. The only difference is Nazem Kadri's shooting percentage is 4.82, while Austin Matthews and John Tavares are 17 and 19% respectively. So I still think my favorite option of the bunch is probably Austin Matthews. I'm a big fan of his line with Andreas Johnson and Kasperi Kapanen. And I think you can get exposure to that full line for really cheap because of how cheap Kapanen and Johnson are. But yeah, I think you go either way with my phone is going crazy. I think you can go either way with Tavares and McDavid. Matthews and McDavid. I think I will give a slight lean to McDavid just because he has to do more for his team as opposed to Austin Matthews. As always, they have like 3 really productive lines who could get goals, who could score goals for them. But McDavid is sort of just him. So I guess I always give a slight lean to McDavid, but you can't go wrong with any of these top 3 options: Tavares, Matthews, McDavid. Even McKinnon is probably going to get his. I think for my dollar, though, I really am interested in the sort of mid-price range. I like this Jonathan Toews, Nico Hischier matchup. I also think this is a game that hits the over at 6. New Jersey over the last 5 games is 4th in the league in high danger chances allowed, while Chicago over the last 5 games is 2nd in high danger chances allowed. Chicago is the worst team in the league expected goals against per 60 wise. They're in New Jersey, a team that's missing Taylor Hall. So I do think this game shoots out a little bit more, to be honest. I think that just makes them worse defensively. I think it gives Chicago some more merit on offense. But I do like, honestly, I think you can get a lot of pieces in this game. I think Heischer with Tays is really interesting. Strome on that second line with Patrick Kane is also interesting. And then there's a few wingers that I'll talk about as well. And then in the cheap range for center, Nazem Kadri, already talked about. I Corsi 4 per 60 over 16. Shooting the puck a lot. And the biggest thing with him is that in years past, they used to use Kadri as a shutdown role at home. So he would be faced against the other team's top line, which in this case would be the McKinnon line, which isn't something we want to necessarily like fully avoid because they do give up defensive chances. But the biggest news is that they don't really use him in a shutdown role anymore. So while he will see some of the McKinnon line, he will also see a bunch of the Colorado depth lines. And I love his line mates with Nylander and Marleau. Andy Korlitz on the first team power play. So I love Nazem Kadri as a value center option tonight. Moving on to winger, my top play, Alexander Ovechkin. As always, anytime he's at home, I'm going to lock him in. He's got a tough matchup. I mean, St. Louis is the 3rd best team in the league, expected goals against per 60 wise. But it just doesn't matter for the league's most fantasy relevant player. I mean, he's an NHL DFS god. He got hurt last game, missed a few minutes, but still skated 21 minutes on the night. There has been no report on what's ailing him in traditional NHL fashion. I'm sure he's fine. So I really like him in my top high-priced winger option. I just don't know if I'll be able to afford him because I think I'd rather get a high-priced center. And I think there's some good value options at winger that we can talk about. One mid-price option that I really like a lot is Kyle Palmieri. He's priced at 6.8K, so he's kind of expensive, but he's been asked to do a lot more offensively with Taylor Hall gone. He still skates on a really, really talented line with Nico Hischier and Marcus Johansson. And as we said, he's stepping into the best matchup at home. 3.3 team total versus the worst team in the league expected goals against per 60. And if we pop on over to Prize Picks, he's got a projected fantasy, or his fantasy projection today is 3.5. So I really like the over on that pick. I think one of my entries will definitely be the over on 3.5 for Kyle Palmieri. I expect that to rise through 4, maybe even 4.5, and I like it through 4 for sure. If we scroll down a little bit more, the guy skating on his wing, Marcus Johansson, 4.3K, skating with Hischier and Palmieri. Big fan of him as well. This New Jersey power play is a little funny because Palmieri's on his own while Johansson and Hischier on the second team power play, which I kind of just like more. So I wouldn't really give it too much thought. I would just know that all 3 of those New Jersey 1 players are getting significant power play roles. So I like him. And then as I mentioned, Kapanen, I'm a fan of Kapanen. I'm a fan of Johnson. I'm a fan of Marleau. I'm a fan of Nylander. All these cheap Toronto wingers I think are most definitely in play because you want as much exposure to Toronto as possible. They have the highest projected goals total on the slate by 0.7, I believe, 0.5. So you definitely want to be heavily exposed to them. And I think getting all these cheap Toronto wingers really makes a lot of sense. So stack it up and you'll be good. Moving on to D. Coming in at the top, Morgan Rielly. I actually love Morgan Rielly this year. This whole year, I've been assuming Morgan Rielly's overpriced, typically because he's priced next to Brent Burns and Roman Josi and guys like that. But, I mean, I don't know what that noise is. All right, so Morgan Rielly still got an I Corsi 4 per 60 of close to 60, and he is chucking the puck at the net. To have a shot percentage close to 10% is extremely high for a defenseman, so expect that to regress a bit. But he's still more than fantasy relevant, skating on a lethal Toronto power play, shooting the puck a lot, and there is no Burns on the slate. So if you are paying up, I do like paying up for Morgan Rielly over anyone else. And then in sort of the cheaper range, a guy I really, really like is Rasmus Dahlin. He's sort of gotten back over this 21-minute plateau that he sort of got stuck at. He got 21 to 24 minutes last game. They briefly removed him off of the first-team power play. Now he's back there as well, skating with that lethal Skinner, Eichel, Rasmus Ristolainen power play. 1. So I'm a big fan of him, and getting him at 3.9K in the game that should be a lot of fun to watch between Buffalo and Edmonton. Could be potentially pretty high scoring, so I like exposure to him. And then goalie, look at your team, see who you have a bunch of players from, and then play that goalie. I think on a slate like today, you can have some upside going with Blackwood. I think Chicago shoots the puck a lot this game, but I think there'll be a lot of goals scored. If you want to go a little more safe, maybe Freddie Anderson back off the DL or Phoenix Copley. Totally up to you on goalie. I'll leave that one to you guys. So with that being said, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you enjoyed, please do like, comment, and subscribe. As always, you will be entered into our giveaway to win a free NBA, NHL, or NFL season pass. If you do that, all you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to deposit on Prize Picks, do so. Use our code. Use code LOCKS, and then send us a screenshot to the Locks DFS account on Twitter, and we will give you our picks for free. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.